Welcome back to episode 70 of the Disorganized Wizards Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hello.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournaments, stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Maybe. And if you want to test that theory, and if you can beat us, you can try it this weekend at the Wizard Tower.
It is their 2K/3K, depending on if you want store credit or cash, Open Championship this weekend.
Pro Tour Wizards Tower.
Yeah.
One of the best tournaments of the year put on by the Wizards Tower here in Ottawa. Great sponsor of this podcast. Awesome tournament. Love playing in it.
Yeah, it's a cash tournament.
Starts at 10 o'clock this
It's
Saturday.
Standard and sealed.
Yeah. A lot of people
Or
are
no,
qualified.
sorry, standard and draft. My
Standard
bad.
and draft. A lot of people are qualified for it, but if you're not, it's still a $20, just a $20 entry. That's pretty good for a tournament of that prize pool.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the payout's great. It's like one of the, it's
Yeah.
the best term. Like people, we've mentioned this every time. People travel from all around in different cities near the area.
Yeah, like in the last couple, we had people from Toronto. There was someone from Montreal.
There's people from Montreal every single time.
Actually-
Kingston.
Yeah. Recently, in this like last week, we got a message from a listener in Denmark. So like, you know, if you want to expand the radius of PT Wizards Tower, come on down, man.
And you can check out their website, wizardtower.com, for all your single needs. They have free shipping in the US and Canada.
Yeah. All right. Episode 70, boys.
You know what the crazy thing about 70 is?
What?
My grandma was 70 once.
I have a feeling I'll never be 70.
You know, you need goals in life.
Yeah, my goal is to never be 70. This podcast took a dark turn. Speaking of dark turns, the modern PT is also this weekend.
Nice segue. Pro Tour
If you're
Rivals of
looking for a
Ixalan.
dark nihilistic future in which you don't live till 70, let alone turn 4, you can go play Modern.
Oh, man. All right. Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan this weekend. The return of Modern to the Pro Tour.
Here we go. It's gonna be wild.
Can't wait.
I actually can't wait.
Calendars are going to be marked as pre this Pro Tour and post this Pro Tour.
We got the living room all set up this time.
Oh, yeah, you brought the TV down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We're good to go. You can sit around, wake up at 10 a.m., drink some Pabst Blue Ribbon, and watch the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Right in the living room.
Well, no, we got to get up at 9, drink a Pabst, go to PT Wizards Tower.
Oh, yeah,
Then
yeah.
on Sunday, we can get up at 10. Watch the Pro Tour.
Okay.
Where is the Pro Tour? What time zone is it going to be
It's in Bilbao, Spain.
Spain?
Yeah.
6 hours ahead, I believe. of
Is
us.
it?
Six or 8.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Spain's like
Time to stay up
the
all
closest
night.
to North America, right?
I mean,
I think
I'm
it is.
fun employed right now, Alex. You damn well better believe I'm staying up all night. You think I got responsibilities?
Nope.
Not for a minute. I had to set an alarm clock to wake up to record this afternoon.
Yeah, you still almost slept in.
Oh, yeah. It was a close one. I hit snooze.
Yeah.
I actually was like, ugh, I should cancel.
I was sitting there debating, like, how much longer do I wake before I go, like, knock?
Yeah. This is like past 1 p.m. in the afternoon for the record.
Yeah, we were supposed to record
It's
it.
currently 3 in the afternoon.
I ate breakfast on the drive here and I'm still drinking my coffee.
Right
Oh,
on.
yeah. Noted responsible.
Classic Benny got it
Yeah.
together.
Responsible Dr. Adam.
I mean,
University professor. Retired university professor.
I think it's pretty normal for doctors to sleep during the day. Like, you know, a lot of them work night shifts. It's busy at the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with this.
Who was I telling somebody that
How's
like,
the word hospital recently?
oh, sorry?
The word hospital.
Oh, yeah, not great. I was telling somebody, I think it was when I was home, so my cousin's like seeing some lady and she has a kid and her kid came to like our family Christmas and she's like 12, you know, and 12-year-olds just chirp and she's like, so how are you? Like, what do you even do? Like, you look like you don't have a job. She's like young, right? And I was like, well, I know.
Perceptive enough to notice these things,
I
but
know.
no filter yet.
But also like was a university professor briefly while finishing my degree, but all right. Like, screw you too, kid.
Roast.
It's like getting bullied by some kid I like don't even know who's just randomly at my family Christmas. Things just aren't turning up for me.
That got you deep, eh?
Yeah, oh yeah, got me good. She got me good. She roasted me. But, you know, maybe I'll win some cash at the Wizards Tower this weekend and spend it on, I don't know, frivolous things to feel better.
Get yourself some nice foils.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why not?
Well, good. There's a lot of reasons.
So I wish that the Wizard Tower Open was modern though, actually.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Just to watch first off, it would sell out. Like it would be packed.
Oh yeah, they'd have to like put tables outside.
They would have to
in the
rent
snow.
extra space. Yeah.
Yeah, all the Scred players can go play outside.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it took me a sec. Oh
Snow-covered
yeah, it is
mountains, I
winter.
get it.
Yeah.
Not that I would know. I don't go outside. But
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
Man, killing it today.
oh yeah. But I just think it'd be wild, and I just think like I would like to see like modern at a kind of like it would be better to play pre-Pro Tour or like during the Pro Tour because like GP
yeah.
Toronto for like local listeners is the weekend after the Pro Tour, and it occurred to me yesterday because I'm not a very smart person, and it takes me a while, as like it just did with the Scred joke, to get things. And yesterday I was sitting there talking to multiple people on Discord as we were playing video games, and I was like, "You going to GP Toronto?" And John's like, "Yeah, I'm going." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like what are you gonna play?" Kind of thing. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna wait till the Pro Tour." And I was like, oh yeah, I guess like GP Toronto is after the Pro Tour, and that's like going to deeply affect the metagame, like what people play. And I was like, man, I am dumb. Like I just forgot. And I was like, because people were asking me like, Adam, what would you play? And I was like, I don't know, Affinity, like,
Yeah.
you know. And then I was like, oh, I guess it kind of matters like what happens this weekend.
I mean, we haven't had a modern Pro Tour in a while, so it's fair that you forgot.
Yeah, it's just weird having to think like, oh yeah, you're going to this modern tournament now, like it's going to be deeply affected by. You know, but we've said this on the podcast before that it's actually like a bad thing for modern at the store level and maybe at the GP level because like,
Man,
if there's some degenerate deck, man, the last time this
I want
happened,
someone to break it. I want another Eldrazi Winter. Give it to me.
the last time this happened, I remember watching that Pro Tour and just being like, my God.
Man, do you remember the stories from people traveling to
Detroit? Yes.
Of them crossing the border?
Yes.
So there was multiple cars of Canadians going down to Detroit to play in that GP. And some of our friends went and they like, go through the border crossing. And the guard there is like, where are you going? How long are you staying? They're like, oh, we're going to Detroit for like 3 days. Then we're coming back. What are you going for? Oh, a Magic tournament. And the guy just goes like, what deck are you playing? And they're like, we're all playing Eldrazi. And he's like, yep, so has every other card that's driven through.
Yeah, I remember that story. Like multiple people told, like also like independent too, not like friends of like, they didn't even know each other. Like
From different
independent
towns,
carloads of people were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, even the border guard was like, oh, you playing that Eldrazi deck? Heard it's pretty good.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember watching and just like shaking my head. Like, though, like you're right in some ways that like it's good for the viewership, right? Because like I remember I wasn't like watching that PT very closely, but then like seeing messages from people being like, holy Lord, like you have to tune into this. Like this is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And like people I know who don't even really play Magic that much being like, oh my God, like what is happening on stream right now? Like, this guy just dumped his hand on turn 1.
And they're all 5/5s.
The guy just played 4 5/5s on turn 1 and killed him on turn 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that I remember that Pro Tour very well because I watched a ton of it and I was so excited. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah, like it isn't fun once the joke is done the first time, but for the first while, it's like it's pretty entertaining.
It's not fun in the sense that the format kind of got ruined, but it's
kind of.
I mean, let's be real, it is. But watching it, I'm like, this is incredible. We haven't seen someone break the format like this. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Dude, and they weren't even done yet. You know what I mean? They're just getting started because like
that was just the beginning.
A week later, that weekend, actually, I think it was like Andrew Tenjum would make blue-white Eldrazi.
Yeah, blue-red won the Pro Tour, and then there was the mono, like
that's what most people played. Was
the colorless Eldrazi.
Colorless Eldrazi.
And then everyone figured out blue-white was actually just the best version.
Because Tenjum won the online PTQ with it right away because of Eldrazi Displacer.
Yeah.
Although Eldrazi was so busted that Frank Lepore top-aided that Pro Tour, playing like a Garbo version of like Eldrazi.
Yeah.
He was playing like a big version, like a Sultai, like huge, like bug Sultai version.
I kind of remember that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was just so busted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So one of the things we were going to do this episode we'll get to is like talk about our predictions for the Modern Pro Tour and what we would play, what we think will show up, and like the best performing decks. I don't think we're going to see that this Pro Tour, though. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think of any Modern cards that have really broken out into the scene recently.
Besides, like,
aside from As Foretold.
Unclaimed territory.
Yeah. I mean, the new Modern decks we've seen are As Foretold combo decks and then humans.
Yeah.
With just the land edition, essentially. I don't know. I don't really think we're primed for a broken Modern format, but
Do you think the As Foretold decks are actually that good? Am I missing something?
no, I don't really think they are.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're like
checking.
I've only really seen them like play at a store level, but they seem strong enough to compete, but not broken.
I think they definitely had the edge of no one really knew what was going on at the start, but I mean, everyone knows what's happening now.
Right.
So they don't have that edge anymore. Like, I mean, there would have been potential for some busted stuff if there had been no As Foretold combo decks putting up results before the Pro Tour.
Right.
But I mean, everyone's been talking about this deck that finished second at the SCG Classic last weekend. The As Foretold Goryo's Vengeance Kiki Jiki Deceiver.
Yeah, but is that the
XR.
classic? Like,
Yeah, I mean, but everyone is
Oh,
working.
yeah.
I've seen multiple pros tweet about it.
oh yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't really think that deck's that good, but it's kind of all over the place. And you don't really know what's going to kill you or not. But
Was it on coverage a lot?
no,
No,
it was a
at the
classic.
Classic.
Oh,
it
the
wasn't,
classic. Okay.
Wasn't on
How often
coverage.
do you think that guy cast Gristlebrand with an As Foretold? It was just on 8 counters.
Probably never.
Yeah, probably never. Probably didn't need to. They were probably dead.
That would have been sweet, though.
Yeah, like I don't know. The deck's just like I feel like that deck is just like a wacky, like a classic, like wacky combo deck in Modern. You know, it's like it's okay, but like it'll just kind of die down and you won't really see it much. Like we've seen like Goryo's Vengeance decks like come and go so much in Modern. You know, like
It seems like the type of deck that gets a lot of percentage points from being like turn 1, it goes like Flash and Exarch Kiki you. And then game 2, it like plays an As Foretold and people like sideboarded wrong because they're worried about like Kiki combo and then they just get Gristle branded.
yeah, that is a thing.
Like the fact that it just has like 2 random combos in it that if you see one game 1, you're not going to play around the
and
second one.
they have different sideboard like requirements. Yeah, that's
like the deck just looks kind of like a mashup of all these combos, but it actually, from what I've seen people streaming it so far, it actually plays out, pretty well. Like you're discarding your Kiki Jikis, flashing in your Exarch, just Goryo's Vengeancing back, killing your opponent immediately. Like
yeah,
there's
it's
lots of
It
different
is
lines.
fast.
Or you're just bringing back a Grizzlebrand and then drawing your deck and killing them with Grizzlebrand. So
Yeah, there's lots of options.
yeah, I mean, the deck's
Man, I regret
definitely
selling
interesting.
my Goryo's Vengeances.
And before it gets banned.
I sold mine when they like went up to like $30. Now I think they're like 50 US.
And people have been calling for that card to be banned for so long.
People hate that card.
Yeah. But
It is like really obnoxious.
yeah,
Getting turn 2 Grizzlebrand in Modern is like pretty ridiculous.
yeah, but I mean it just hasn't been because the deck has never really been good.
Right, like it's never actually been a good deck.
Yeah. I don't know if
I don't think this will do it.
I don't know if As Foretold makes this kind of strategy better because you have the living end like part of attack as well as the Kiki combo, Grizzlebrand. I don't know, but
That deck is wild.
anyway, of all the streamers I've seen stream it, everyone has had a terrible record with it. It's all been like 2 3s or 3 2s, so I don't.
Right, like I don't think the deck's like actually, it's rad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's cool. Definitely.
That's why everyone's talking about it because that's how Modern is. Like
Yep.
probably
Yeah.
just getting smashed by good decks.
All right. So let's metagame this weekend, Pro Tour.
What is a Modern metagame?
Like it's really hard to kind of pin down because it's just like little small percentages of everything always, right?
Like even on like pull up like MTG Goldfish, like what's the Modern metagame breakdown? Like the best the most played decks are probably, I'm gonna guess.
I never go to these dark
3%.
parts of the internet. I stay on the standard page.
Oh wow, 7% online. People are playing Jeskai Control. That's a lot. People really love that deck though. Like when a deck with islands does well in Modern, people want to play it, right? People want to cast Cryptic Command.
Yeah, but you're leaving out that there's 5 other decks also at 7% of them.
No, I know. I'm just surprised that like a garbage like control deck is like doing that well.
I don't think it's garbage. I was actually going to say I was going to predict that I think we see a copy of Jeskai Control in the top 8 this weekend.
I think it's easy to beat that deck.
I don't know. For sure. There's definitely a lot of decks in Moderns that do, but it's been putting up a lot of good results recently, and I think in the hands of some, you know the players I'm talking about, like the good control players on the Pro Tour.
Yeah,
I think this deck has potential.
I think that like the better players are just going to play Thoughtseize decks, though.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Yeah,
Just go back to Grixis control.
I think that's
just running it
play
back.
people
like
are just going to play
Death
Death
Shadow.
Shadow.
Okay.
Like that deck is just like so hard to play, but like it's so good. I think that the reason it's not just like runs rampant, I've discussed this before, is that like it's just a hard deck to play. Like Corey Burkhart, like the guy who always plays Grixis Control, wrote an article like a couple weeks ago about how he started playing Grixis Shadow, and he was like, yeah, he's like, there's so many decisions about like when you fetch, when you use your like cantrip first on turn 1, whether you Thoughtseize, like he's like, it's so hard. And like I was trying to make notes, and he's like, here are some of my notes, and it's just like massive lists of all the different options on turn 1 with like potential hands. And he's like, yeah, no wonder like people like don't win with this deck at first because you don't know what you're supposed to do. So like the deck's just super difficult, and you need like tons of games in. Like my prediction would be someone like, I don't think he'll do it because like he doesn't like mid-range decks, but like Pascal Maynard would like do well with that deck because he'll just grind on Moto forever and learn to play it really well, right? Because that's what that guy does.
Yeah.
But like he also doesn't play mid-range decks. He's going to play some all-in combo deck. Like he will play the As Foretold deck if he can find a way to make it do well. That's the kind of decks he plays, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of pro teams jamming that deck nonstop, trying to see if it's real or not.
Yes, I agree.
Or just various permutations of like decks with As Foretold. Because like, yeah, maybe you don't need the Goryo's part in it, but like, what else can you cast with that card, right? Like clearly people have demonstrated that it's not too slow for Modern.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean,
That's fair. If you play an As Foretold, can you immediately cast a Living End or a
Yes. Or an Ancestral.
Ancestral?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say that. Like,
there's also the mono blue Living End deck, which is sweet.
yeah, I think it's definitely sweet. I don't think it's that good.
There is someone I know who thinks it's very good.
He's just been running it back at like every local Modern event.
And just like doing well.
Curtis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually doing well. Like he thinks it's very good. I think that he's just insane, and the deck's probably terrible. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think like the meta is going to be all over the place again. I actually, it hurts me to say I don't think Tron's going to have a good weekend. There's just too many Field of Ruins everywhere.
yeah, from the Jeskai control decks and stuff.
Yeah. And like I do think Jeskai Control is going to do well, and that deck or even like Blue White Control. I think these decks will keep down.
Yeah,
Tron.
blue white control is like a beating. It's like even better than Jeskai
It's just
control.
it's mono land hate. It's a Stone Rain deck.
Yeah, it's just this. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that deck is miserable for the Tron
Like,
deck.
Blue White Control is one of its worst matchups.
I think that deck's very good actually, and secretly been very good for a long time.
I think that's fair.
I think that it's not built correctly, and I also think the same thing with the Jeskai control decks. I think they're not built correctly. I think there's too many like fun ups, like the one of Sphinx's Revelation, and like I think they need a way to like fine tune the decks a little better. But
Like how? Like what?
I'm not really sure, but I'm not. Like part of me I've never seen a rev be good, ever.
No.
No, God, no. Every time it's on coverage, they rev for 2. Like actually, like I've never seen the rev be good because like you have a lot of come into play tap lands, but also because you're fetching so much, like you want to be fetching often and stuff, like, and you scry lands to the bottom generally with Serum Visions or Opt, you don't have just like a ton of mana. And when you Snapcaster it back, you're snapping it back for what, 1 or 2? Like it's never going to be better than snapping Cryptic Command, basically.
Okay.
So like, is it better than Think Twice? Actually, I'm not sure it's better than Think Twice or Opt. Like, just stuff that gives you early mana options because I've never seen the rev like close the door on the game. Like, I don't think that it's sweet. I think that's why it's there. It's all like everyone wants to play a one of rev. Yeah. And sure, there are probably cases where it's like, oh yeah, you like gained 5 and drew 5 and it won me the game. Well, yeah, but like you also just had 8 spare mana and had the one of Sphinx's rev. But like, a lot of times, like, you would probably just want it to be Cryptic Command in your hand or like something else. Like, I realize they play 4 Cryptics, but I just think that there's got to be something else. I'm also like, I'm not like sure on. Do you see lists that play like 3 snaps and something else? Like, there's just no way a lot of the lists are right. Because like this deck is one of those decks that people just like get stoked to play.
Yeah.
It's like it's a Cryptic Command blue deck with Celestial Colonnades. Like, people just hype, like they just want to like cast these spells. So I don't think people have really like tuned it. They're like, this deck has Rev in it. Oh, I'm playing it. Because that's what I would say. I'd be like, oh, we're playing Sphinx's Rev? Like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And you like leave the copy in, but like it's probably not good.
Okay, I think that's fair.
So like, I feel like if that deck shows up, it's going to be a little different. So I think that the blue-white version is way more fine-tuned. Because that one, like you said, has a game plan. Which is a tie-in for later. But like, because that deck is like going to Spreading Seas you and just Wrath you and Detention Sphere you until they just kill you with Planeswalkers. Like, it's a classic like tap-out control strategy, basically. Has Cryptics too, just in case. But that deck kind of like has a game plan, whereas the Jeskai controls like a weird mesh of counter burn.
Yeah.
That needs things to line up correctly, and it's a little more scattered in its strategy. So that's my take on the modern Jeskai deck. Oh yeah, we can talk about modern forever. We never talk about modern, so we got lots of.
We've been talking about it a lot recently.
Another reason I think Tron is going to be held down. I mean, I don't actually like. I haven't played modern in a long time. I don't actually know how its matchup against Death Shadow is. It used to not be good, but it's that deck. That deck used to be an aggro deck. It's not anymore.
It's less so of an aggro deck, but it can still definitely aggro you out.
Yeah, but I just don't know. Like, I don't think they can beat a Worm Coil Engine.
No, God, no.
It's probably a lot less one-sided as it used to be back when they used to play before Probe got banned. When they used to play
Teamer Battle Rage.
Step Links. Is that the card? Yeah.
And like Teamer Battle Rage.
Yeah.
That card's good.
Yeah, it's probably a lot closer.
It definitely is. I've seen the matchup play out. It's way closer than it used to be.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think Tron's going to have that good of a weekend. I don't think Tron has a very good matchup against humans either.
Yeah, I mean, if they Meddling Mage your O-Stone, that's a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
It depends on how many Meddling Mages they draw. The problem is, though, actually, if they don't draw Meddling Mage, they're drawing LTs and Mantis Riders, which are just going to smash you very fast.
They still play Freebooter?
Do they still play? Play Freebooter. Like,
what ways do you have to kill a Freebooter to get back in O-Stone? I guess like Karn,
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, if you're playing green-black, those decks
Collective Brutality and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I think they
do humans decks still play Mantis Rider? They do, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
That's like, to me, the only point of playing that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like if you're playing green-black, you play Brutality and Fatal Push in your main
bunch
deck.
of Fatal Pushes. Okay. That's pretty sweet. That's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, like, yeah, you can definitely beat humans as Tron. And you have cards you can board in.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think like we've seen some pros do really well with Tron at the GP level.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know if it's a deck you want to bring to the Pro Tour.
Yeah, it's a deck that like everybody knows the score as well. Like, everyone knows what they need to do to board against it.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see anyone not boarding for it.
Or alternatively, no one does. Because they all think the same thing.
See, this is the problem with Modern. You just never know. It's impossible. Like, I say one thing, I'm like, and then we talk about it. I'm like, maybe I'm just completely wrong.
It was like, okay, so, so every time anyone asks me, like, what deck should I play? And I'm like, Affinity. Like, and I always say it. And they're like, well, like, what about Stony Silence? I'm like, no one's going to play that card because everyone thinks that. If your first reaction is like, but I can't beat Stony Silence, that means everyone else is like, I can't beat Stony Silence. No one's going to play Affinity. Get these Stony Silences out of my board. No one's going to play Affinity. And then you show up, lace up those boots and start kicking them.
But which side of that would you rather be on? The person bringing Affinity or the person bringing Stony Silence? If you think no one's going to bring Stony Silence.
Because they still got to draw the Stony Silence.
Yeah, okay.
And if they don't draw it, they're dead. So, like, how many Stony Silences like the Jeskai control deck playing? 2, 1, 0.
This one's playing 0.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, but there's a where.
Yeah. That card's just Lightning Bolt. It's just actually a lightning. It's like a shatter versus Affinity. People like bring it in. They're like, I got sideboard cards for Affinity. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's like, what? A shatter?
Supreme Verdict?
It is, yeah.
Engineered explosives, very good. So that's an option. But otherwise, like this deck has literal like no cards in the sideboard for affinity. Look at these decks. They don't have anything for affinity. They got like 1-ofs. Yeah, like
I mean, Mantis Rider is a pretty good sideboard against affinity.
yeah, that card's really good. Yeah, like they just like there's Akataki, like that's and
There's
Vithian
Vithian
Renegades.
Renegades.
Yeah.
Staticaster is probably pretty good as well.
Staticaster is nuts. That card is okay.
Yeah, humans is going to crumple affinity.
So
can't play affinity.
when we
You're
get to our
crazy.
predictions, like remind me to make that prediction that we're gonna see a Staticaster just lock someone out of a game.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
You can make that prediction now.
Yeah, right now.
Right here.
Someone's gonna play like 2 Staticasters and just lock a humans player out of the game. They just can't cast any creatures without them getting banged to death. That's my prediction. That some guy just like plays 2 Staticasters and it lights out.
How long do you think the Staticasters stay on the board, locking out the opponent before they draw win con? How many turns do they have to
like-
sit there thinking that maybe they'll draw something with more than 2 toughness?
No, then they draw Mantis Rider and win.
Yeah. Because like you could draw both your Staticasters and a removal spell and then like flood a bit. Like how long do you sit there waiting?
Yeah. 8 turns.
8 turns. That's a long time for modern.
Oh yeah.
Modern games don't go that long. Come on.
There are more than 8 lands in every modern deck. They could draw 7 lands in a row each. That would be 8 turns.
You're right. That could happen.
Yeah. Can't count this stuff out, man.
All right. But anyway, yeah, I think humans is going to have a good showing.
Will Thraben Inspector win another Pro Tour?
Ooh.
Oh,
It can't not, right?
jeez.
It's too good.
Right. It's the best 1-drop printed in the past. Like,
Oh, man. I didn't actually
it
realize.
does die to the double Staticaster, but you're trading up on mana.
I didn't realize humans was playing Staticaster.
yeah,
It's a human.
it's a human.
No. Really?
Yeah, and it's a good sideboard card.
Therefore, modern playable.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This one's playing 3.
Oh, you mean Thraben Inspector? You said
Yeah.
Staticaster.
Oh, Inspector. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
they were
dude.
playing this card. Man.
That's nuts. Hastalia's Lieutenant too.
If you get Stony
a
Silence,
one-man
can you
divination.
not crack your clue?
You definitely cannot crack your clue if you get Stony.
What a
Silence.
rip. Shouldn't bring humans. What if people have Stony Silence?
They get your Aether Vial and your clue.
Jeez.
What more can you do? Yeah. Like, will Thraben Inspector top 8 or win another Pro Tour? On our
I
predictions.
think it will top 8.
You think humans will top 8 with
I
Thraben
think
Inspector?
I think humans will top 8.
Like humans is still
Do
a good
you
up-
think some snobby pro will be like, I'm taking this dumb squire out of my deck, forgetting how unbelievably good Thraben Inspector is?
Is it possible to forget how unbelievably good that card is?
Yes. Some people are dumb.
It's going to be like the day 1 deck tech of some pro, like with their sweet humans deck, but no Thraben Inspector. And then every day 2 deck tech of humans will have 4 Thraben Inspector, and that pro won't be there.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one of our first predictions that Thraben Inspector will top 8 another Pro Tour,
All right.
but this time in Modern.
We haven't mentioned it yet, but humans is also a good option because it's playing Thalia, right? And we haven't mentioned Storm. Storm's going to be around.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Like I almost think there's almost no way Storm isn't in the top 8 or top 16.
Will John Finkel play Storm? Probably.
Yes.
Has he ever played a modern pro tour and not played Storm?
I'm unsure. I don't think so though. But he probably will, and I think Storm will probably top 8 or like 9th. You know what I mean? Like I can see Storm like going X4 and missing X5 or whatever, like missing on breakers or something.
Tries to go off.
Yeah.
Fizzles.
Right.
Comes
That,
in
like
ninth.
that deck is definitely good, and I think it will do well this weekend, but it does get crumpled by humans.
Oh yeah, but like I don't know how many humans decks show up. Or alternatively, like what Storm does to beat humans, like maybe, you know, because like the time that we saw it on coverage, it was like a joke, right? Remember that? It was in the finals of the SCG when humans had the breakout tournament where the guy went 18-0
Yeah.
or whatever it was and like never lost a match and just beat up on Storm all weekend because the Storm players like just didn't. They were just helpless.
Yeah.
Like actually helpless, just getting their teeth kicked in. But I think that there has to be sideboard cards that they can beat a deck that's just dumb creatures. You know, like there's got to be something they can board into, or maybe they play a third color, like to have access.
No, it's tough because generally, like what do you automatically think of when you need to counter some humans, like Anger of the Gods.
Yeah, Anchor.
Yeah, but like those humans get so big, so quick.
They do get big. And
It might be too slow.
Well, Anger is probably fast enough. You could ritual into it if you were like.
That's right.
If you were
You
very
have
behind.
rituals.
Yeah. I think a lot of people make a mistake and think Blood Moon is good enough. I think it's too late. Blood Moon's too slow. But Anger isn't, probably.
Is Blood Moon too slow?
Yeah, because if you don't have ritual, it's too slow. You need to ritual Blood Moon immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas like Anger might still be good on turn 3 or 4. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas like Blood Moon's it's too late. It's too late. The damage has been done.
And in sideboard games, if they're expecting it and fetch all planes, like all their most threatening creatures against you are white.
Right. I mean, they also have Aether Vials. Like
Yeah.
it's just is like Blood Moon just has the potential to be like a complete dud, like a complete brick. I mean, it also has potential to win the game on the spot,
Yeah.
which is why Blood Moon is a stupid card. And why Modern's a dumb format.
Well, will we see Blood Sun this weekend?
No, God, no.
That card sucks. Don't even think
No,
about
I
it.
think we might see someone in like the first few rounds
Trying to play a dumb Blood
trying
Sun
to
deck.
play like some Blood Sun combo deck with like dual like bounce lands, and it'll be on feature match because of their new like look at these cool decks policy. But that's it.
So for
If we
like
see it,
listeners
that's the
who
only
don't
place.
know, because I didn't know this till today, till you told me, like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, so I might get some of the details wrong, but I remember them publishing an article about like their plans for coverage in 2018, and there was a blurb in there about how they will be choosing feature matches so that it's not only ever showing the XOs, but that unless there's a win and in round going on or like people playing for day 2, so if it's, in the middle of a day, they'll try and feature maybe some players who aren't performing as well, but who are playing, quote, interesting decks.
You know what decks we're gonna see in the middle of day 1, but not on day 2? Ponza decks,
Oh,
Ooh.
right? For sure. That's gonna be because you were talking about the Blood Sun deck made me think of it. You're gonna see some green red land destruction, and I'm about it. That's what I want to see.
think people are going to bring that to the Pro Tour?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah, dude! That deck like has been, I think, like solidly tier 2 for a while, and maybe there's a way to make it playable.
I don't know, man. I think the people who are bringing that deck are O3ing their first pod.
Oh yeah,
So,
Yeah, but we'll still see them on feature.
but we'll see them on
because
day
they're an
1 feature
interesting
match.
deck.
So that's what I'm saying.
okay.
Could see them in like round 4 or 5 because it's after the draft.
At 1-4.
Nah, maybe they
this
3-0 their
sweet
draft, dude.
Red Green Ponza deck. Oh, man.
You can 3-0 your draft.
I mean,
Those
someone who
people-
brings Ponza to the Pro Tour is probably pretty good at limited. How else did they qualify?
Exactly.
Got him.
The humans, you know what's sweet about the humans build though? Like recently, and I like this is what Zan Saeed played at SEG, is Keswick Malcontents, dude. I played that card in standard when it was in the Angel of Glory's Rise deck. So I played it as an alternative win
What's it do?
condition. It's just a better shaman in the pack. It's 1 red, 2 colorless. It's a 3-mana 3/1 and red. When it comes into play, you deal damage equal to the number of humans you control to the opponent.
That's pretty good.
And this, well, the humans deck's playing 4 Phantasmal Image lately. So if you go like, I don't know, Aether Vial and then like 2-drop into like 2-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop, and then next turn just like, Phantasmal Image, Keswick Malcontents, they're just pretty
take
sure
6 and
there's-
attack.
Pretty
well,
sure
like
they're dead.
that they take 12. Or,
lot.
more than that, 13, because like the Malcontent plus the Phantasmal Image on the Malcontent. I know, it's a lot. Some number that's large. And because you don't play spells and you're just creatures, like you're going to have humans on the board. Yeah, you can do a lot of damage. The God Thraben Inspector helping getting in there.
True.
Is there anything Thraben Inspector doesn't do?
No.
No.
I'm literally
Draws
waiting
everything.
for it to just come crumple Legacy.
Attacks your opponents, blocks, draws cards.
Yeah.
Man.
When is that card? Okay, like the other option too is we see Thraben Inspector top 8 somehow in the human stacks, or sorry, not the human stacks, sorry, the Death and Taxes decks.
We haven't seen Death and Taxes, do we?
Right, because they're just bad versions of the humans deck.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows, man?
What other
Maybe
deck-
somebody plays like because like people do think this deck is sweet and people do play it, and it might have a good humans matchup. Is the Eldrazi and Taxes deck with Wasteland Strangler and Tide Hollow Sculler and stuff? That deck's probably actually like pretty good versus humans because it's just a bunch of board control and
Yeah.
creature kill. I think that deck is unbelievably
You know what?
bad. I think it's one of the worst decks in Modern that people play.
Maybe Eldrazi Tron is primed for a good weekend
Yeah, I could see that.
because they play Walking Ballista. They play all their things that are just bigger than humans. Eldrazi Tron probably has a really good humans matchup.
And I feel like people just sort of forgot about that deck actually recently, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of been floating around.
Because there was a time in the kind of beginnings of this modern format, months ago, where people thought that Eldrazi Tron was the best deck,
Yeah.
right? And
people just
were,
stopped playing Tron. They're just all playing Eldrazi Tron.
like Tron just disappeared, and then it came back from that GP, the one there was like Seth Manfield lost. It was like the double scape shift finals.
Yeah.
But like that top 8 had 3 Tron decks in it or whatever. And the Tron came back out of nowhere and just smashed that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then from there, people just sort of like act like they forgot about Tron or Eldrazi
Well,
Tron.
everyone just kind of adjusted, right? Because the same hate that hits Tron hits Eldrazi Tron.
Yeah.
But
So if people, have some hate for Tron and you don't think it has a good weekend, but like Eldrazi Tron, like, is that a deck you think, would you be willing to play that at this Pro Tour?
Eldrazi Tron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I'd probably play it over. I don't know if I'd play it over Black Green. It's tough to say. I don't know. I haven't played Modern in a long time, so maybe I should start. And
Gonna
then
go
I-
play some Modern?
Yeah.
Here it comes. Listeners, get ready. We'll be back next week with Stelly being like, Modern sucks. Went to play tonight or last week with Adam and Cam. It was terrible. Hates his format. And then you won't hear about it again for 4 months.
It's about time.
It is about time. It
Maybe
has
it
been
is about
exactly
time.
long enough that you've now forgotten. And you're also getting tricked by all the Modern talk and like the Modern Pro Tour and stuff. You're going to get tricked into going to play. And this is it. Here it comes again.
Maybe next Wednesday's the night.
We could go to tonight.
I can't go tonight.
You got to work?
I'm going to studio.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Next week.
Maybe next week.
Next week after we record, we're going to go play some Modern.
The-
Monday or Wednesday.
Post Pro Tour Modern, pre Toronto GP Modern. Dude, it's going to be wild. You're going to be so pissed off.
I'm already regretting.
When's the ban announcement, right? It's like a week after the Pro Tour or 2 weeks? Or does it take effect after Toronto?
I don't know.
They made some announcement. It might take effect after Toronto. But
I
yeah, anyway.
love that they basically have a caveat of, but also we might ban something later after the Modern Pro Tour.
Just in case
Because
things go
also
wrong.
Modern Pro Tour, and we need to be like deeply concerned
I mean,
about
they've
what
had
could
that
happen.
banning window there.
No,
after every
but I
Pro
love
Tour,
for like
but
this one, they
yeah.
made like a special notice, like just so you guys remember, like we will
Yeah.
potentially ban anything remotely threatening from this Modern PT.
You're bringing a really sweet deck that you think you brewed up. You should punt a few games so you can keep playing it.
Don't give it away. Nah, there's no way we see something like Eldrazi Winter.
There's just
No.
not the cards there for it.
Unfortunately.
Because that happened because they printed cards that interacted with old cards, right?
Yes.
Exceptionally. And like nothing they printed now really ties back to anything in existence already.
Yeah, Merfolk. Which is one of my predictions. I think Merfolk
yeah.
top 8s. I think there's a fish deck in top 8.
Just an oppressive Merfolk deck.
No, God, no. He
that-
just sneaks in.
that would be what it is
He's just spreading,
if there's another
seizing
Eldrazi
people
Winter.
and getting lucky.
So we're
That's just
talking
how all
collected
fish-
company Merfolk?
That's a pretty ballsy prediction, but why not?
I mean, if you're playing green, you might as well play company, right?
Oh, hell yeah. But I don't know that you can cut Aether Vial, so like, maybe not.
Can you just play both?
Ugh, God, no.
No?
Because then you can't board in like counter spells and stuff. And then like what, you have 4 Aether Vial, 4 Spreading Seas. So you have 12 spells in your creature deck?
Maybe you just don't play Spreading Seas.
No, God, no. You have to.
You don't need Spreading Seas because your commander gives things unblockable. You don't need Island Walk.
No, you need it. So that
Maybe
yeah,
you
that's
play
an
two.
issue. And otherwise, like you can't beat Tron without Spreading Seas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think a fish tech top 8. So I'm making that call. that's a risky one. I am aware that this is a risky one, and I can just see you grimacing because I always root for fish, and you're just like, God, shut up. But the deck always ends up top 8ing something, man. Deck's great.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
We haven't seen Fish do well in a while.
Yeah, because no one has the guts to play it.
Yeah, because it
Fish
sucks.
guts.
It sucks, man. Fish isn't good.
No, deck's hype.
No, it's not.
You say this, now it's going to top 8.
You sound like Ted.
Disagree. We
Can't
have a
wait.
disagreement. It will. I predict it will not top 8.
All right, peacekeeping. Moving on.
All right, let's talk about limited a little bit.
Yeah, another
How
part
much of this
Pro Tour.
format have you guys played?
Quite a bit, actually.
Not a lot.
I've
I
been
played some
playing it in
Sealeds
okay
and
amount.
Draft.
I've been watching it a lot. I've been drafting it a lot on Moto.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I did some drafts on Moto, actually. Little Benny convinced me to.
Yeah. My best decks always seem to be black-white.
Those colors are good.
Yeah. My best decks always feature Profane Procession, which is a card I have been fortunate enough to open a lot on Moto.
How lucky.
Yeah, I know. I was actually also pleasantly surprised at the blue-white deck. Blue-white City's Blessing Flyers. Man, that deck's busted.
Yeah, it's just so easy to get
Yeah.
City's Blessing, actually.
Yeah. Stubborn Sentry has been surprisingly good, which is a card everyone kind of just wrote off at the start. Squire's Devotion, busted. Card's great.
Yes. That card's super good. I was trying to tell someone, they just wouldn't believe me.
And I think red-green is deceivingly powerful. Like red-green dinos, that strategy is actually very, very good.
The times I
I think all the Forerunners are probably busted.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think that people at the Pro Tour will first pick Forerunners.
So the Merfolk one and the Dino one are 1,000% the best.
I think the Dino one is
green and red
better than
are-
Merfolk.
The Dino one is the best one.
Yeah.
Hands down. But the second place is definitely Merfolk.
That level 0 combo or the level 1 combo, of Little Roaster.
Oh, yeah.
Tooth Raptor.
Needletooth Raptor and Forerunner of the Empire.
Yeah. Like a roast on a body, just
On
all the,
every body.
Yeah,
every
yeah.
dino you play is a roast.
that's like Little Roasty.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's one of like the most unfair limited combos in this format. And if someone like I bet that we see it on coverage. It's going to happen like 50 times at the Pro Tour because people are going to draft towards it because it's like such a hilariously powerful combo in limited.
Yeah.
That if you get the Forerunner of the Empire and
Yeah, you just take it.
whatever that dumb card is.
Man, I'm stoked to see Tetsmok
What's it called? I always
rack
forget
faces,
it.
too.
Forerunner of the Empire is the dino.
No, I know, but the Little Roaster.
Needletooth Raptor.
Yeah, I
so,
always
yeah.
forget the name. Yeah, sorry.
Raptor.
That combo is so hilarious. Yeah, the people are just going to draft towards it. If you open it, you'll just take it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you'll see a lot of first pick Forerunners at the Pro Tour because the card's just so good.
And like Needletooth Raptor is one of those uncommons that like could go through a couple people at a draft table because it needs enablers.
Oh, yeah.
And so like you might end up with it from pack 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I see a Tetsumok just ranch someone. That's a call. That's like a bingo I want to see. It's like somebody just foolishly behind, but they have like 8 swamps in play, like 6 other mana.
Rip
And they're
a
just like,
Tetsmok, instant win.
And they're just like, no, they don't instant win. They like wait a turn. They're like, draw Tetsumok. And they're like, put
Mark
8,
your board.
get a counter on 8 of your guys, go. And the person just has to make like a suicide attack.
Yeah, that's a prediction I wanted to mention is that like with the Elder Dinos at rare, I think a lot of matches that'll be like become a theme by the day 2 drafts. It'll just be like, yeah, and playing an Elder Dino and looks like you can't beat it.
Yeah, like I played the red one and then I just got accrued this card advantage that was unbeatable. They could never, you know what I mean? Like I attacked with it on turn 7 and that was it. I want to see somebody, this should have been a bingo, but this is a tough one. I want to see somebody attack on turn 5 with a hasted red Elder Dino and cast 2 spells off the top.
Ooh.
Because they have Otepec
Yeah, the
Huntmaster
Huntmaster.
that gives it haste and makes dinos cost 1 less.
That's nuts.
That would be... Is that really that rare? Like, I bet you that's going to happen at the Pro Tour.
At a draft, probably not.
Why?
And probably not that rare.
Yeah, because it's uncommon.
Yeah. Well, one's a rare. What do you mean, why? What are you asking me?
Oh, man.
But yeah, there's lots of wacky stuff that could happen. I think the limited games are actually going to be sweet at the Pro Tour. I'm excited. Like, I'm actually excited to watch the draft. This limited format is so much better than Ixalan. I'm actually so bummed for you guys because I didn't go play. That Nationals was Ixalan limited. Even though, didn't you smash?
Yeah, I did pretty
Didn't the
well.
whole squad just smash in limited? Because like we knew like week 1
Yeah, we figured it out.
before like anyone did for Nationals. Like it was like a new format and like we were in on the joke. Like I think you guys went like 5-1 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 2-1 to both my drafts, and
Oh, that's what it was.
I really think I got super unlucky.
And yeah,
to
that's
lose
what it was.
both.
Didn't you get like completely screwed in like Both of them?
I got-
Weren't both your decks like 3-0 decks?
Oh yeah, one of them was a busted Merfolk deck, and the other one was a busted like red white Dinos deck.
Which were the best decks like weeks later at the Pro Tour, which is so funny.
Yeah,
Like, right? Because
Merfolk, I do think dropped off a lot. I think we're going to see.
oh yeah, no.
Merfolk's weird now. It's an all in like every time I've seen it drafted or whenever I've drafted, all he do is you play creatures and attack. You don't block. You play attack. That's
Yep.
all that deck does.
Yep.
It lost a lot of its play. It lost a lot of its most powerful cards. Like
The Flyers are still good.
Yeah, like Merfolk's one of those weird strategies that it's mediocre, but if you open a Communa or like a couple Lords, then it just kind of pushes it from being
The Lords
mediocre
are-
to insane.
Yeah,
but
the Lords are
you need like a nuts payoff to go in on it.
Yeah.
the Lords are just so good though, because there are still so many Merfolk that the Lords are so good that you draw one Lord and it's like your deck just becomes like you said, just insane.
Yeah, because just like all the other Merfolk decks I've seen, either drafted online or that I've drafted myself, if they don't have an insane payoff, they've always just been mediocre. But black white decks have generally always been pretty good.
Yeah, Vampire's got a huge
Yeah.
boost just because it's the best. It was so previously in Ixalan, like it was already the best color combination for removal, and it was bad. It was like not great. There wasn't that much. Now there's just more removal broadly across the format, but a lot in black white.
Yeah, I do.
And black white just has efficient creatures, has a good archetype.
I really do think black white is the best archetype in Rivals of Ixalan.
Just black white vampires or black white like stuff.
You kind of
both.
just become vampires if you're in black white.
Just
but
by virtue of the color combination.
I just think black white as a pairing is probably the strongest.
Yeah,
makes
from
sense.
what I've seen, it just seems really it just seems so powerful. Like we said, like having all the 4-drop removal spells it has, right? Like it has Impale, Divine Verdict, Pious Interdiction, all these kind of like clean answers.
You have luminous spawns,
And then
have
at 3,
Vanquish the Weak,
at 3 you have those removal spells, like the Exile one.
Yep.
Like across its curve, right? Like Cam, look, we've talked about this in the past that like how you evaluate the power of any given color in limited is to assess the commons and the power level of the commons, right? Like what's the best common? And like looking at the curve in black white, like you can say like, yeah, there's good commons and uncommons
At like every spot.
at almost every spot on the curve.
Yep.
Right? Like the 4s are great. The 3s are great. The 2s have like Dusk Zealot Legion, like the guy who draws a card, that card nuts. You know, like it
Yeah,
has
Martyr of Dusk.
Martyr of Dusk. Like its 2-drop commons are phenomenal.
Moment of Craving. That card is
That
hype.
card's amazing. It's just a better Farika's Cure, which was already like a limited playable and standard playable card actually.
I played it in standard. It was sweet.
It was a great in standard. I mean, that was an era of like Rabble Master and stuff.
No, I mean like this weekend I played Moment of Craving in standard.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, like that card. Like that card's awesome. It's a better, like I said, better for Ix Cure. Anyway, like yeah, like if you look at the commons across the board, they're deep, right, in those colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think people probably fight over those colors. I think that across the curve, the Merfolk deck is harder to get. When you look at like the nuts Merfolk decks, they're uncommons,
Yes.
right? They're
Yeah.
not commons. They're uncommons.
Well, the best commons are in Ixalan, which you only have one pack now.
Yes.
So that's where it kind of loses out.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. The best Merfolk cards are the uncommon ones where it's not as not as even across the board.
Even in red green dinos and stuff, the best cards are
Yeah.
uncommons actually. Like, but
Yeah, like the difference in the power level of a Dinos deck that has Forerunner of the Empire, like a Needletooth Raptor, whatever uncommons, versus
like
one
Raging
that's just
Swordtooth from Ixalan,
right,
like,
versus one that's just playing like an Odapec Huntmaster and a bunch of 3-mana 3/2s.
right,
Yeah.
Like the common
What's the,
dinos are just so.
What's the the new uncommon? It's a red green 4/4. When it attacks, you can ping your opponent or a
Raging
creature.
Regisaur?
Yeah, that card, absolutely insane.
Oh yeah,
Very, very
You
good.
can ping anything, right? Like you can enrage with it.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
ping any creature or your
oh
opponent.
yeah.
Whether
Okay,
it's
so that's something I was going to talk about as well. Is that I think like previously, like when you'd watch limited GPs, like I don't know how many people watch, but just for those who don't or do, like you didn't really see, and in your own experiences, I bet you didn't really see the sort of like enrage archetype do well. Like, yeah, Dinos decks were around, but like the enrage thing just sort of happened naturally, right? Whereas now I feel like it
was very much like my Dinos triggered their enrage when my opponent let them.
Yes,
because they blocked when they could deal
or
with the
had
enrage
to,
trigger,
or I
they were right,
and they like whatever. It was just an incidental thing that happened. It might as well have been a one-time ETB trigger, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like there's more kind of enablers and better like playable enablers, like cards. Exactly. You're like, oh yeah, I'll play that. Like I'll play that card because it's like worth enabling that, you know. And like I feel like the enraged cards are better right now. Like they
definitely are a lot better.
Yeah. Like it's just. There's more of them. It feels like maybe I'm wrong. Like I'm not gonna check the numbers. It just feels like there's more playable enrage ones. Like because it turns out like the 2-mana 1/1 enrage make a 3/3 like sucked. Like like they're just those cards weren't good. Like Raptor Hatchling or whatever it was. Yeah. Whereas now like the enrage payoffs are like quite good. So
you went from make 1 3/3 to roast your entire opponent's board.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, Dinos is definitely impressive, but it is one of the strategies where you really need the uncommons to come together to make it very good, kind of like Merfolk.
Those are like we've been saying this for years, like people who are newer to listening to the podcast, like lately in the kind of like last few years, it wasn't always this way, but maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, the uncommons could really define your draft experience, right? We've talked about this, that like, you know, like if you're unsure in a format, like for newer players, like if you're unsure and it's uncommon seems like pretty good to you, like just take it over the common, like for the most part, because it's probably nuts. Like other than like an Impale or just a removal spell, like, you know, Impale's nuts, right? Like I would first pick Impale a lot.
Yeah, I have many times.
Impale's insane.
Yeah.
Like 4 mana kill anything is just so good.
Yep. But yeah, this is one of the edges that the black-white deck has over the other strategies, I think, is that you could build a very good black-white deck with just commons.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how you always find, like we said, like that's always how you find the best color in Limited is like, what are the best commons?
Yeah.
How deep are the commons? Like, what was the set we were like talking about, Cam, where like we realized that black and white were unplayable? Maybe it was black. I can't remember. We're like, black's unplayable this format.
Was it Kaladesh 8th Revolt?
It might have been Kaladesh 8th Revolt.
Oh, it was white. Yeah. White.
Yeah, white in that format.
I think white in that format. We're like, this, like.
They just didn't do anything.
It's unplayable. It doesn't do anything.
It was like Fabricate, but it had no payoffs for Fabricate. It was
right.
Just,
and everyone was like, oh, but like there's so many good cards. And we're like what?
Yeah.
Like what's the, no, it was definitely black. Because we were like, what's the best black common? I remember asking the question on podcast. I was like, what's the best black common? And it was like a 2-drop with Death Touch, and then nothing. We like couldn't. We're like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you can cast Renegade Freighter with black mana.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. And we were just like, it just didn't do anything. Like they had no good commons. Like it was just not a playable color because it had no good commons. Like it might have had good uncommons, sure. That doesn't matter. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, we were talking about that and like realized that like, oh yeah, that's why. So that's something like that's gonna matter. But like, what do you think people fight for at the Pro Tour for a prediction wise? Like, if you were playing at the PT, like what archetype would you fight for black white right away?
For sure, just
because you think it's deep enough, you could.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, I black white. Like I definitely think it's the best archetype right now, and I think a lot of people will figure that out too.
Yeah. So I was very impressed though with blue black as well and blue white.
Yeah.
Like you said, the City's Blessing deck, the blue white City Blessing deck was very, very good. And I think we'll see some 3-0s in day one and maybe day two with the City's Blessings deck at the Pro Tour, like for limited. But I'm blue black as well. Like I was very impressed with the blue black Pirates deck.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of very playable archetypes in this format.
Yeah, I think you'll see like a lot actually. Like I think, like you said, yeah, these are the preferences towards these colors, but like you can play like red, black pirates and get them.
Yeah, there's still going to be like blue, red raid decks. Like
I think those like the blue red deck is like potentially very good.
I want to see the Sailor Means deck. I've seen it. I've seen a couple players do really well with it online. It's just you just draft every sailor means you can find, and then you take the best card out of every pack.
Oh yeah, the like just treasures deck.
Yeah, no, it's actually a
5-color
it's
treasures.
actually a good strategy.
No, sailor
'cause means blocks everything.
Yeah,
it blocks everything.
You can't die early.
Yeah, you could just get to play all the best cards.
Yep.
I've seen it happen. I think this is a deck that Sam Black drafts at the Pro Tour in 3.
That makes sense.
I will draft these decks and you yell at me.
Yeah, but you haven't drafted
just
them properly
can't-
yet.
Yes, I
Fathom
have.
the
I
level
had
that
3 sailor
Sam
means.
Black plays at.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I
Nah,
just
your
didn't
deck
need
wasn't
to even
good.
play them because I had perfect mana fixing.
Impossible. if
They're
you-
kind of a
if you didn't
non-Noah
play
Star
them.
of Extinction.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on. No, but that is a deck, and I think it's cool. And I would love to see someone like Sam
Someone
Black draft
will.
it. And
My bad, Sam Black.
How many of that 1/1 unblockable do you think Calcano takes?
5.
Just puts one with the wind and swashbucklings on them, as many as you can get in pack 3.
Yeah. I think that strategy isn't good now, though.
No, probably not, because there's more removal. But
I think people still do it.
Yeah.
I think people still draft like the mono 1-drop deck.
yeah, you just take
There's a lot of very good 1-drops in this format.
a bunch of
like
1-drops
the blue-red 1-drop deck.
with
like-
some dive downs and like a Storm Tamer.
No, dude, it's about the 1-mana enchantment.
Oh yeah, Curious Obsession.
Yeah. That card's insane with like all the 1-drops and like, yeah, there's a bunch of just and there's a billion 2-drop flyers.
Many of which have raid. Like
Yeah,
Right.
no, this is the blue-white deck. You take your Stubborn Sentries, you take your Mistcloak Heralds, you take your Kitesail 2/1
Corsairs.
Kitesail Corsairs,
Yeah.
you take your Curious Obsessions,
And you just
Squire's
get in there.
Devotions. This is a real deck that very
Yeah.
easily cities blessings early and just kills you.
Yeah, like turn 4 and 5 cities blessings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the deck's very, very good. I've lost to it a couple times online. It's sweet.
I think if you were in a draft and you first picked the one-sided Howling Mine, that's the deck you draft.
Okay.
yeah,
Sure.
As your
like
top,
you just dump your hand.
you just dump your hand and you have a Curious Obsessions, you draw cards, you find your Howling Mine, you just have gas forever while they're like playing a 4-mana 4/4 on turn 4. And you have like 11 permanents.
yeah, you just suicide attack in because like
It doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. You're gonna
drawing
regas
2
it,
cards
yeah.
a turn. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right. Anything else we want to touch on for the Pro Tour before we move on?
should we save like our thing for next week?
Our topic.
Yeah, we're at like an hour anyway.
Oh yeah, we've
Yeah,
kind
we
of
can
been
save it.
rambling.
Anyway,
Any
let's-
other predictions? Oh, do you have any player predictions? Who you think will top 8?
I think it's safe to say Seth Manfield, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he will.
No?
No one repeats.
What?
He's not going to repeat.
Serious?
Yeah, I think
That's
he.
nuts.
Yeah, I
He
think
top eighted another GP the other weekend.
I know. I think he top 64. I think Finkel top 8s.
You think so?
Yeah,
Finkel.
the Finkler.
All right.
I think Paulo scrubs out because he hates Modern and he won't play it. I also think that we won't see people. I think that the Modern metagame actually for this Pro Tour won't be affected. We've talked about this a lot that like, oh, every time there's Modern PT, it ruins it. There's all these bans. I actually don't think that happens this time. I think that most pro players, like if you were to read Twitter and keep up with the Pro Tour, like most pros are so jaded about Modern. Like they hate it. And they don't find it interesting that they're just gonna like play like pick a deck from like the SCG Classic and play it. Like that's what I think is gonna happen.
right.
Except LSV will top 8 because like he'll play something wild and like win. And he likes Modern. Like he'll play. Well, he doesn't like Modern, but he like, he just likes. He came to game right. Like
Yeah, no, I'll say Seth Manfield. That guy's nuts. He always does well.
against
He'll
Finkler,
top
LSV.
60.
Wasn't the last time Modern was on the Pro Tour? Sean McLaren did really well with Jeskai Control, which is now
A good deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently.
He won a Pro Tour, didn't he?
Yeah, he won a Pro Tour with Jeskai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he beat
Jacob.
yeah,
Wilson.
on
Little Kid Abzan.
no, it was Birthing Pod, wasn't it?
No, I think he was playing the like Abzan deck.
Yeah, Abzan Pod.
No, I think it was like the beatdown one with like Wilt Leaf Leash. He did play that at a Pro Tour. I don't know that it was that Pro Tour, but I'm
Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna
But yeah,
find
like
it.
because you were mentioning that Jeskai deck like feels like it just needs tuning. Sean McLaren seems like the type of player who like in his deck tech will be like, yeah, I just thought about it by myself for a while and figured out this would be pretty good and just like has a perfectly tuned list.
Yeah, I could see that. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Is he qualified for this Pro Tour?
I don't know.
I don't know how well like he's been doing lately. I think his brother is, right?
Dean?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I would have heard about it. I've heard Magic Facebook pages, but
Oh man, podcast is going to hear that sound that just came on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear
It was a pod deck. You're right.
Yeah, see, pod. Knew it.
Okay.
Never
I thought
wrong.
he also he had this, so then he did top 8 with the little kid Abzan deck. Do you remember what I'm talking about? It was like a really aggressive, like
I know Little Kid Abzan, but I don't remember any.
it was like
results of
Noble
it.
Hierarchs and like Wiltleaf Lieges. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure he top 8'd with that deck at a different Pro Tour.
Maybe, I don't know. Probably.
It's bothering me that I can't remember. But yeah, Sean McLaren, could see him doing well. Yeah, Just Guy Control's
If
a
he's
good
even
deck. I'm
Qualified.
pretty sure
I
he's
don't know.
qualified.
I have no idea.
But
yeah. Anyway, do we have a blowout this week?
yeah, we'll have to save it for next week because we're running out of time, I think.
All right, let's wrap
Not
this
one in
up.
particular.
Thank you all for joining the club this week. As always, check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs. 2K open this weekend. This Saturday here in Ottawa.
Crumple me. You
come
won't.
come on down. We'll all be playing. It's 4 rounds of standard, 3 rounds of draft, cut to top 8. Great tournament. Love it.
It's so much fun.
Have you guys registered yet?
Yeah, I did.
No.
Oh. All right. Wizards Tower staff, if you hear this, please register us.
And
I was supposed to play in a league tournament actually at U Ottawa.
what?
Yeah, like a LAN tournament. Someone needed a support, and I was like, I really don't want to support, but I will. But
Don't do that.
I wanted to jungle, obviously, but they have a jungler. But I was like, yeah, I'll support, I guess. But then I realized it was the tower open, and I was like, nah, screw you guys. Like, find someone else. Plus, they're like a challenger team, and I was like, I don't want to go get. It's like there's like challenger teams. I was like, I don't really want to get smashed playing support versus like a bunch of challenger teams. Like, my team just raging on me because I'm not that good.
All right. Anyway, however you listen to this podcast, whether it's on Podbean, iTunes, your podcast app, leave us a review, share with your friends, rate the podcast. Everything helps the podcast grow. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. The Disorganized Wizard Club podcast on Facebook,
Whoa.
at DWC Podcast 1 on Twitter. Shoot us a message. If you ever have any topics you want us to talk about, or if there's something on the show you want to hear a little bit more of, definitely shoot us a message. We'll get back to you. Love hearing from listeners.
It's the best. That reminds me, I got to send a listener a list they're asking for.
Yeah.
I'll do that tonight.
And yeah, we'll
Wait, what are you going to play in standard at the Tower Open? Do you want to give away your info?
probably Grixis.
Yeah. Some Grixis list.
I don't know.
Wow.
Standard. Man.
Cowards.
I mean, am I a coward? It's going to be Grixis the Healy if I play it because that deck was lit.
Oh, yeah, before we go.
Yeah.
Save it for next week. Never mind.
I can guarantee I will be playing whatever deck I play, there will be 4 Rekindling Phoenix in my deck.
Because
That card's good.
That card's nuts. It's
Yeah.
busted. It's the best card in the set.
Yeah, what did we have it on our predictions as? It was in our top 5, right?
I think so.
I think it was in our top 5.
It's like I cannot think of a better card in this format for standard.
It's very
It's
good.
best. It's the best. It's so good.
okay. I'm going to go up to 4 Vraska's Contempt.
I am. I'm for sure playing 4 Vraska's Contempt.
That card's also lit.
Yeah. If I play black. I don't know. I think Phoenix is super good.
I agree. That card's nuts. It's like the second time a Phoenix has been good.
Yep.
It might be the best one printed.
I think so.
But Chandra's Phoenix was pretty good, man.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
Shauna's
what we can
Phoenix.
beat that one.
Shauna's Phoenix.
Chandra's
was really
Phoenix was
good.
wild.
Yeah.
I don't think we're beating that one at the ubiquity that card saw.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next week.
Later.